So you played with us in 2006. What did you play?
I played Rhapsody in Blue by the same composer, of course.
How would you describe the difference between Rhapsody in Blue and the piano concerto?
Well, the name itself actually speaks for itself, because concerto is more traditional form of piano composition, of any kind of composition. Rhapsody is a little bit more free form, and basically that's the difference. Concerto is traditionally usually consists of 3 movements, usually allegro, then second movement could be andante, slower movement or adagio, and finally a finale, which is usually also fast movement. So it creates sort of arc. And so after Gershwin wrote his Rhapsody and it was a huge success, he was commissioned to write a piano concerto, and actually it was his idea because he wanted to push further and you know, into a more classically oriented field, I believe, but at the same time he wanted to explore all the connection between classical and jazz, explore it further and further, but in a form of typically classical form, which is piano concerto, and that he took it at the certain challenge, because in those 1920s he was actually very well known before he wrote Rhapsody, and a popular composer, and lots of people didn't really believe that he's capable of writing in such a serious form as a piano concerto. So he actually considered it as a challenge, and as we all know, he absolutely succeeded.
It is an amazing piece. You play with Maestro Lipsky in Chautauqua. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, every summer for a long time I've been going to Chautauqua, New York, and it's a great place. It's a summer festival, summer arts festival, and we both, Maestro Lipsky and me, are part of different programs, but that's exactly where I met him, probably around 12 years ago. And first we just hit it off really nice, and we just talked, and then, you know, gradually he came up with the idea that we should, you know, try and play something. But his idea, actually, because he knew that I was a jazz pianist, he actually wanted to see how things are going if I try to mend classical and jazz, in particular, especially in the Gershwin repertoire, which is Rhapsody, Rhapsody in Blue, Rhapsody number 2, which is less known for general public, Concerto, and so Maestro just wanted to see if I can bring something probably interesting into that, because I'm sure every second person in America played Rhapsody in Blue, you know, the way they can or they can't. So everybody knows this music, so absolutely it's really hard to play it over and over again the same way it's written. So I did try, and to bring in something new, I just add improvise cadences and, you know, something different. I think it's a great idea.
You really play well with the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra. It's quite a concert.
Thank you.
Do you consider yourself more a jazz pianist or a classical pianist, or how do you mix them?
Well, that's yeah, it's complicated, because I started with my classical education when I was very little in Russia. Then I discovered jazz at the age of 10. So I basically played jazz, you know, 24/7. And I actually wanted to go into jazz field, but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, in Russia and Soviet Union at those times, there were not formal jazz education, and so I didn't have any choice. So the only choice for me was to go into classical. I mean, it's not like I didn't have any choice. I could always go into classical because I was pretty good in that too. But I actually did want to become, you know, formally educated jazz musicians. But it didn't happen, so I went all the way. I graduated from Moscow Gnesian Institute, which is right now called Russian, I think, Russian Academy of Music. It's really big, it changed the name. So I graduated with a degree in classical performance, and but I never actually stopped playing jazz, and somehow it just started to come together, and you know, so I cannot really answer your question, you know, yes or no. Am I classical? Am I a jazz pianist? Probably I'm leaning towards being a jazz pianist, but I love playing classical. I'm trying to keep in shape, and I have a diploma to show you if you don't believe me.
Well, you were the first non-American pianist to win the Great American Jazz Piano Competition. Tell us about that.
That also was a pretty long time ago. I already forgot about that, but yeah, that's what it says, and I just, you know, like, saw the advertisement for this competition, probably in one of those jazz magazines, and I already was playing in New York City with my group and with the different pickup groups, and I already had an experience participating in the jazz competition before I came to America, and actually won the third prize in Paris in 1989. So I already knew what's going on. But I actually wanted to try myself into you know, like, competition on American soil and see how it goes, and would I be accepted, would I be crushed. So I found this, I found out about this competition, and I just entered, and I sent my materials, my recordings, and field was really great, and the jury was amazing. It was led by the absolute legend of jazz, Horace Silver, who happened actually to be one of my idols for a long time. So, and when I saw his name as a lead juror, I didn't think twice. I just wanted to enter this competition, and it just worked out really great. Only 5 people made the final cut. I was one of them, and what can I say?
Well, we're very fortunate to have you here in Ann Arbor, and
thank you.
You performed greatly with the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra, and we thank you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.